It was supposed to be an ordinary fishing trip off the coast of Nova Scotia. A group of seasoned fishermen, known for hauling in some of the best catches in the area, set out early one summer morning. The weather was perfect. The sky was clear, the sea calm, and the breeze just strong enough to keep them cool under the sun. They'd been fishing these waters for years, and while they had encountered the occasional surprise in their nets, odd debris, tangled seaweed, even the remnants of old fishing gear, nothing could have prepared them for what they were about to reel in. The day progressed like any other. Lines were cast, nets dropped, and fish slowly began to fill their bins. As noon approached, with the sun at its highest point, one of the fishermen, Greg, felt an unusually heavy tug on his line. At first he assumed it was a large catch, perhaps a tuna, or even a stubborn swordfish. With excitement, he braced himself and began to reel it in. But something felt off. The line wasn't jerking like it normally would with a fighting fish. Instead, it was a dead weight, pulling slowly against the boat. Curiosity spread among the crew as Greg struggled to bring the catch to the surface. The others gathered around, watching intently, their chatter fading into silence. What could possibly be this heavy? After several minutes of effort, the mysterious object finally broke through the water's surface. But instead of a massive fish, the crew was met with something entirely unexpected. It was a chest. An old, weather-beaten chest covered in layers of barnacles and seaweed, its once sturdy wooden planks now corroded and fragile. It looked as though it had been submerged for centuries, long forgotten beneath the ocean waves. The sight of it left the fishermen speechless, each of them exchanging wide-eyed glances. For a moment, no one spoke, as if they couldn't quite believe what they were seeing. Greg, still holding the line, called the others over to help. With a collective heave, they hauled the chest onto the deck, its soaked wood creaking under the strain. Up close, it was even more fascinating. The chest's iron hinges had rusted to a dull brown, and the lock had long since deteriorated. The crew gathered around, staring in awe at the relic before them. "This thing's got to be ancient," one of the men muttered, running his hand over the barnacle-covered surface. Despite its age and wear, the chest was intact, and the fishermen couldn't resist the urge to open it. With some effort, they pried it open, the hinges groaning in protest. Inside, lying among the rotted remains of what once might have been fabric, was an object that made their jaws drop even further. It was a piece of ancient craftsmanship, an intricately carved artifact that gleamed faintly despite being tarnished by time. The metal was like nothing they had seen before, covered in unfamiliar symbols that seemed to dance across its surface in patterns none of the men could recognize. It was heavy, with a cool metallic sheen, and the details of the carvings were so fine that they must have taken months, if not years, to create. At first, the fishermen couldn't decide what to do. Should they report the find or keep it a secret? They knew that this was no ordinary piece of debris. This was something far more significant. They decided to bring it ashore and immediately contacted local authorities. Word spread quickly, and soon the small coastal town was buzzing with excitement. Within hours, a team of archaeologists and historians arrived to examine the artifact. The fishermen, now local heroes, watched as the experts carefully transported the object to a nearby museum for further study. But as the days went on, it became clear that this discovery was far more mysterious than anyone had anticipated. The historians quickly realized that the artifact didn't match anything known from the region. Its design was completely foreign, with symbols and craftsmanship suggesting it was from a culture not native to the area. Even more puzzling was the fact that the artifact seemed to be from an entirely different era, perhaps even from the Mediterranean, thousands of miles away from where it had been found. Theories began to emerge. Could this be evidence of early explorers who reached the shores of North America long before recorded history suggests? Some experts proposed that the artifact might have been carried across the ocean by a shipwreck, drifting for years, before settling in the waters off Nova Scotia. But even that theory had holes. There were no known records of ancient shipwrecks in the area, and the design of the artifact was too unique to be easily explained. Weeks turned into months, and despite extensive research, no definitive answers surfaced. The symbols carved into the artifact continued to baffle linguists, who couldn't find any language or script that matched. Some suggested it might belong to an ancient, lost civilization, a culture that had slipped through the cracks of history, leaving behind only this strange and beautiful relic. As news of the discovery spread globally, the artifact began to attract attention from historians and treasure hunters alike. Theories ranged from the plausible to the fantastical. Some believed it was a religious artifact, while others speculated it might be part of a larger, undiscovered hoard. There were even whispers of the object having supernatural origins, with a few people claiming that it held powers beyond human understanding. For the fishermen, life had taken an unexpected turn. They had come across a mystery that might never be fully explained. What started as a routine fishing trip had turned into the discovery of a lifetime, one that would leave historians and archaeologists grappling for answers for years to come. And as for the artifact itself, it remained at the center of heated debates and investigations, its secrets locked away in the intricate carvings and the untold story of how it came to rest at the bottom of the sea, only to be brought back into the light by a group of ordinary men just trying to catch their next meal.